Right then, you want to be a farmer, do you? Well, let me tell you, it's not all sunshine and hay rides. It's hard work, it's mucky, and it's bloody difficult to get those massive tractors to do what you want. But when you finally get it right, when you look out at a perfectly cultivated field, well, there's nothing quite like it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Before you can even think about admiring your handiwork, you need to know how to cultivate a field properly. And trust me, it's more complicated than it looks. There's a real art to it. Get it wrong, and you'll end up with a field full of weeds and misery. Get it right, and you'll be reaping the rewards come harvest time. Now you might be thinking, why bother cultivating at all? Can't I just chuck some seeds on the ground and hope for the best? Well, you could try, but I wouldn't recommend it. You see, cultivating isn't just about making the field look pretty. It's about creating the perfect environment for your crops to thrive. Think of cultivating as giving your soil a good massage. It breaks up compacted soil, allowing air, water, and nutrients to reach the roots of your crops. Cultivation is your secret weapon in the war against weeds. It uproots those pesky invaders before they have a chance to steal your crop's nutrients and sunlight. Properly cultivated soil acts like a giant sponge, soaking up rainwater and holding it for your crops to drink when they need it most. See? Cultivating is essential. Your crops will thank you for it, and so will your bank account. So you've got your field, you've got your tractor, you're ready to go, right? Hold your horses. Before you even think about hopping in that driver's seat, you need the right tools for the job. And no, a rusty old plow from your granddad's shed won't cut it. We're talking about serious equipment here. Disc harrows are the workhorses of field cultivation. They slice through the soil, breaking it up and creating a nice, even surface for planting. If you're dealing with tough, compacted soil, you'll need to bring in the big guns. Chisel plows dig deep, loosening the soil and improving drainage. Rotary tillers are like giant food processors for your soil. They chop up weeds, mix in fertilizer, and leave your field looking like a freshly baked cake. Choose the right tool for the job, and you'll be well on your way to a successful harvest. Now let's talk about soil. It's not just dirt, you know. It's a complex ecosystem teeming with life. And just like people, soils come in all shapes and sizes. You've got your sandy soils, your clay soils, your loamy soils. Each one behaves differently, so you need to know what you're dealing with before you start cultivating. Sandy soil is the Goldilocks of soils. Not too heavy, not too light, just right. It drains well but doesn't dry out too quickly. Heavy and dense, clay soil is like that friend who takes forever to get ready. It holds water well but can become easily compacted. Loamy soil is the holy grail of soils. A perfect blend of sand, silt, and clay, making it ideal for growing just about anything. Get to know your soil. Test it, feel it, even give it a sniff. The more you understand it, the better equipped you'll be to cultivate it properly. Alright, time to get our hands dirty. But before you even think about firing up that tractor, you need to give your field a good once-over. We're talking a proper tidy-up, like your mother-in-law is coming to visit. First up, debris removal. Get rid of any rocks, branches, or other debris that could damage your equipment or hinder your cultivation efforts. Next, let's talk moisture check. You don't want to cultivate bone-dry soil, nor do you want to be sloshing around in mud. Check the moisture level and wait for the optimal conditions. And finally, cover crop considerations. If you've got a cover crop growing, decide whether you'll mow it down, till it under, or let it decompose naturally. Remember, a well-prepped field is a happy field, and a happy field means happy crops. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time to climb aboard that tractor and show it who's boss. But before you start tearing up the field, you need to make sure your equipment is set up correctly. Cultivation depth. You don't want to be tickling the surface of the soil, but you also don't want to be digging to Australia. Set the cultivation depth according to your soil type and crop requirements. Speed thrills. Slow and steady wins the race, especially when it comes to cultivation. Going too fast will result in an uneven finish and could damage your equipment. Take your time, adjust the settings, and don't be afraid to consult the tractor manual. It's not a sign of weakness, I promise. Alright, you've prepped the field, set up your tractor, and now it's time to unleash your inner farmer. Start your engine, put it in gear, and let's get cultivating. Straight and narrow. Cultivating in straight rows might seem like a no-brainer, but it's easier said than done. Keep your eye on the prize and try to avoid any wonky lines. Overlapping is key. You don't want to leave any gaps in your cultivation, so make sure to overlap each pass slightly. Think of it like painting a wall. You want full coverage. Watch out for obstacles. Keep your eyes peeled for any hidden obstacles that could damage your equipment or send you flying through the windshield. Cultivating can be a zen-like experience, just you, the tractor, and the open field. Enjoy it. Congratulations, you've successfully cultivated your field. Now it's time to sit back, crack open a cold one, and admire your handiwork. But the work doesn't stop there. Maintaining a well-cultivated field is an ongoing process. Weed-controlled cultivation is just the first step in the battle against weeds. Regular hoeing, hand weeding, or even a spot of herbicide might be necessary to keep those pesky invaders at bay. Water wisely cultivated soil retains moisture better, but your crops will still need a good drink from time to time. Monitor the soil moisture and irrigate as needed. Enjoy the bounty. With a little luck and a lot of hard work, your well-cultivated field will reward you with a bountiful harvest. Remember, farming is a marathon, not a sprint. Keep up the good work, and you'll be enjoying the fruits and vegetables of your labor for years to come. Well, there you have it, everything you need to know to cultivate a field like a pro. Now get out there and put your newfound knowledge to the test. And remember, farming is all about trial and error. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, learn from them, and most importantly, have fun. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got a field full of sheep to terrorize. Happy cultivating.